So I'm sure everyone that follows Barstool, like any of the Barstool pages, Dave Portnoy, there has been a lot of drama going on with the Call Her Daddy podcast, and I've been listening to it forever. And then over the past like couple months, um, they have been like when they were doing their episodes, they were doing what was called like a trail, like they were putting their episode titles as like things that didn't have anything to do with what the episode was actually about. And they were like, "Oh, we're creating a trail for you guys because some shit's going on, but we can't talk about it and this, that, and the other thing." And then like a maybe like a month or two ago, they stopped like making episodes altogether, and they haven't put any out. Um, and then come to find out that there's two hosts. There's Alex, who's like the main host. Dave Portnoy found her first and wanted to sign her on with for the podcast. And she was like, "Well, if I'm gonna do it, like Sophia's gonna come with me, and she's gonna be my co-host." And Sophia has a boyfriend who they refer to as Suit Man, and um, I'm like trying to not make this like too long, but
His
to
his
kind
name
of
is Peter Nelson, right?
Yeah,
yes,
from
he's
HBO,
like
right?
Yeah,
yeah,
HBO Sports.
yes. So he basically ruined Call Her Daddy because the girls wanted, to kind of like update their contract, their raises, this, that, and the other thing. And Dave Portnoy was like working with Alex to get her a raise, but then like Sophia wanted all of this extra shit, and he was like, "Well, no, I can't do that because of the contract that you signed." They wanted the IP address, which is the name of like the title of the episode, Call Her Daddy. And he's like, "I can't give it to you. Like, that's not part of the contract. Like, you have to wait, whatever." So Peter Nelson, Sophia's boyfriend, was like shopping around to find other social media, like media outlets where they could do their own podcast on. And so now, kind of like long story short, Sophia is no longer part of Call Her Daddy. It's just Alex now. She's putting out a new episode on Wednesday. And then between Dave Portnoy and Alex, like especially Dave Portnoy, he was putting out all these videos and like updates about what's going on with Alex and Sophia and the podcast in general, and like why they haven't been putting out episodes and stuff. Like, and Dave Portnoy has been such a fucking savage throughout this whole thing. He's like one of my new favorite human beings on this planet. Like,
You know the
I've
crazy.
always,
Go ahead. Are you
So
still
can I
no,
just
go
explain
ahead?
to everybody what IP is before like we kind of start getting deeper into like the issues?
All right,
yeah,
go ahead.
So basically, IP is intellectual property, which is basically the whole idea of Call Her Daddy. So basically, when they signed their contract, to my knowledge,
mm-hmm.
they gave Barstool full access to the IP, which means they really don't own it anymore, and they become uh basically employees of Barstool instead of like uh it being a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And what they wanted was to get out of their contract so they can go shop for other deals or whatever. And to my knowledge, they signed like a 3-year deal with a base salary of 75K, but they both like blew that out the water and ended up making like what 500 each.
They make
Yeah,
like half a mil, I think, something like
yeah,
that.
they
I
were
Yeah,
read.
taking
I
half of
know, I know.
like their bonuses, and then they each
Yeah,
got like raises at
and
certain points throughout
Alex is
it.
making a little more money, right? Because she
Yes.
does the editing. Okay,
Yeah.
so and as employees, I do see why Alex wouldn't go and try and negotiate for Sophia. I see why she was trying to negotiate for herself. You know what I mean?
Eh. I
No, but
mean,
like
like,
this is
I
what.
do and
But
I don't. Like, Sophia didn't do anything. Like, in all the
So,
videos that are coming out, not Sophia, Alex did literally all of the work.
so
they didn't.
Sophia just show up to record.
Yeah, basically. But
Yeah.
like basically, what I read was like that. That they offered a contract to both of them. Sophia's turned it down. Alex turned it down. Then the second one, basically, they basically screwed Barstool and like basically got all this bread, got basically the whole IP, everything. Barstool just
No.
wanted to keep the alcohol, but they
Mhm.
refused. Well, Sophia refused again, and Alex was like, I think we should take this deal. And then Alex tried to come back and take it, but they were like, nah, we're not doing that. So I think she's
And
went on. She signed again for like 50. like 50% of everything or something like that.
So
If I'm
I
right.
think that Dave was willing to like let them out of the deal 6 months early, considering the fact that they had 18 months left on the deal. He was like, "Yo, just do 12, and I'll let y'all go and shop for other places, and I'll give y'all the IP." Which doesn't really have what he didn't really have to give the IP back to him
Not at all.
because
Didn't. No, he was like really willing to work with them. And since Sophia's boyfriend, Peter Nelson, like he got them a lawyer and all this other stuff. And Sophia, like from even the video that Dave's put out and the video that Alex put out the other day, they were both basically saying that Sophia started getting like super fucking greedy with everything. She was like, "Well, I want to get paid way more and I want like a percentage of this and that." And they're like, "No." And even Alex was like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, not trying to be mean, but I do all the work. Like, why are you trying to get all of this shit out of it when Dave is literally offering us a deal of a lifetime? Like, why do you not want to take this?" So I don't know what it is,
I
but
basically had the
fuck,
bull in her.
fuck Sophia. I'm over
yeah,
her.
she let some penis get inside her head, I guess,
Definitely
because
Yeah.
was addicted,
that
thinking different.
So fuck Sophia
yeah.
and fucking Peter Nelson.
Cause old dude just coming in there like he the business manager, like bro, you work for HBO and HBO does
In
well,
sport.
so you know how this shit work.
Yeah.
Like you should know like when they all right, if you wanted to shop them, wait till they get close to the end of their deal. Like you basically told them to breach the contract, and now they might walk. Well, Sophia's walking away with nothing,
Yeah.
Exactly. Like she
which
fucked
is
herself.
and to my
Wow.
I don't listen, but to my knowledge, she's not the attraction on the show.
She's
She
not.
So I don't know how much of an audience she's gonna have in whatever she does next because people every all the sources I have that like say they are fans are there for Alex.
Yeah, like Alex literally brings all of the content. Like she's the funnier one out of the two of them. Like Alex literally brings everything to the table. And yeah, having Sophia there is nice for like commentary and like letting them like have discussions back and forth and whatever. But
Yeah.
literally, Alex is the main attraction. Like
Th-
Sophia can go fuck herself.
this is something things like this are things I'll pay attention to as a new podcast and as
Hmm.
we progress because this is all shit that we need to know because it's too many cautionary tales out here to where people get locked into something bad, you know what I mean? So as we move forward, we just gotta keep on taking looks at that, guys.
Speaking of podcasts, y'all saw what Joe Rogan got?
Yo, Joe Rogan got the bag from
Got the
Spotify.
fucking
Hmm.
bag.
Apparently the deal is going to be like at the end of it, it's going to cap at like 180 mil, and it's for 3 years, and it's just like to exclusively license his podcast on Spotify, which
Yeah,
Bro,
means
that's
Spotify doesn't own it. All they basically just paying him so he can like exclusively release the podcast, but he still owns the IP, which is the most important thing.
mm,
um, and he's still the top podcast in the world. Like I don't know anybody like hotter than Joe Rogan in these podcast streets. And I really didn't realize how hot he was until I started watching different interviews. I'm like, oh, this man just be talking to any and everybody. Like,
he
but
does.
that's why I think of why his podcast is hot because he be getting everybody on there though.
Hmm.
and and he's also like a very reasonable individual. You know what I mean? Like
I
he's
was
not
literally
going to say
about to
nothing
say this
wild.
thing. Yeah, like he's very open minded. Like he'll have like anyone on. Like he's open to discussions. Like to talk about literally anything and everything, which I think is super cool that he's not like just one way. Like obviously he has his own opinions, but he doesn't bring it into the podcast too much to where you're like, "Oh, I don't want to listen to this."
Yeah, for sure. Hey, yo, Spotify, if y'all got a little extra change for some young potters, you know what I'm saying? Hit
Hit
us
the
up. We hot out here. You feel
Bro,
me?
shit.
We hot out here. We not gonna give you our IP. That's dead because I'll die before I give up my IP. But
Shit. Give him
if
the
you guys,
we give him the IP for a half a mil, bro.
I don't know about all that.
Ripping.
Integrity, bro. I've
No,
been broke. I've been broke, so I could wait on it. You feel me?
I feel you. I feel you.
yes.
You feel
Yeah.
me? I don't got it, so I could live without it still. Feel me? Until I get what I want.
You're right.
You feel me? Like that's all
Yeah.
it. That's all it is.